Hello guys, and welcome back to Car Obsession. I know it has been a very long time, but Get Your Car Featured is back, and today I'm joined by a very lovely Fiat Ibiza Cupra. So I've got Dan, the owner, to my right hand side, so I'll let him take you around the car and talk you through what has been done to it.
Hi there, alright. So basically, we've had a full colour change from standard solid red to a Jaguar Italian Racing Red last year. Some Waytec coilovers, polybushed, complete front end, rear beam. It's got a brake drilled and groove discs and pads all round. Ibiza Cupra R, OZ wheels, showing a full stage 2 package basically. Forged front mount, forged cooler pipe work, forged intake pipe, a Leon Cupra KO3S turbo, 2.5 inch Miltech turbo back exhaust with a 200 cell cat. Inside is stripped, back end is stripped, sorry, with a driver's bucket seat, OMP steering wheel, boost gauge, a few other things, little bits and bobs. It's got uprated strut braces, front, rear, upper and lower, new speed, anti-roll bars, front and rear.
I think it's about time we have a look under the bonnet.
Yeah.
So Dan, what sort of power is this pushing?
It's approximately 240 horsepower. I haven't had it on the rollers. Yeah, I haven't had it on the rollers yet. But I mean, through the next winter, I plan on taking the engine out, putting a set of forged rods in it, and then going for a hybrid turbo.
So what sort of power are you looking for ultimately? You know, what's your end goal?
End goal is around 300, around the 300 horsepower mark. But
that's going to be a lot.
I mean, it's sort of on the
small light car.
Yeah, it will be on the limit of what you want and need really in this. It goes well as it is, but everyone always wants more.
Exactly. Well, from factory, these would have had 156 horsepower, so you're pretty much doubling the horsepower.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I say, it said everything's supported, needed wise, brakes, anti-roll bars, everything. It's all been upgraded, so the power it's got at the moment, it handles it really well. But I mean, like I say, next year, when it comes back from winter, I'll probably put a set of Brembo 4 pots on the front as well. Yeah. Just for the extra. When it's got extra power, I would expect it will need something a bit bigger than what it's got.
That match the Cupra R specification.
Yeah, that's what I'll be buying. Yeah, I'll be putting a set of
Brembo calipers, didn't it, on the front?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think that's enough talking. Let's do some driving. So guys, if you can't hear me too well, I do apologise. Dan is using my clip-on microphone, and so I'm having to just use the audio from banger right here, mate. I'm using the audio from the GoPro or his clip-on mic audio, whichever's better. So Dan, what made you want this generation of Ibiza Cupra, because they're so hard to come by? And did you always want one of these, or you just saw this and thought, oh, I quite like the look of that?
Well, it happened a long time ago, really. About 8 years ago, I had another one. I had a black one. Yeah. Just sort of come across them, decided to buy one, fell in love with it, had it for a couple of years. Had to grow up a bit because I had a boy. Yeah. Me and my missus got married, had a baby and that. And sort of 2 years ago, found myself in a bit of a better situation, so I decided to buy a second car. Yeah. And this was a no-brainer for me, really. I wanted another one. Yeah. From the day I sold my last one, really. Yeah. But yeah, it's nice now. I can just use this on the weekends, and yeah, it's good. It's such a good fun car. Yeah. I just don't see any of them anymore.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Is it because they weren't popular at the time, or not many were made? Because this is the first proper Ibiza Cupra. You did before this. You had the Cupra Sport GTI. The Cupra GTI Sport is a really long-winded name, but there wasn't. Well, it's still a fairly fast car, but it wasn't a proper Ibiza Cupra.
No, they sort of, this shape was where they decided to obviously strap a turbo to it. Yeah. Make them that much better, more tunable. Yeah, they generally a lot of them sort of went to the scrapyard because they seem to be worth more in bits for a long time.
Oh, really?
A lot of people were breaking them up,
and
selling everything off and just cutting the shells up. And unfortunately, these suffer really bad rust.
I was literally about to ask you, what are these like for rust? Because it seems a lot of cars of this kind of age, whether it's a Seat, a Ford, whatever, they all seem to be prone to rust in some shape or form.
It's literally like, I mean, this one was really, half the reason I bought this one was because the rust was really good. It had minimal on it when I bought it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the seals go, the rear arches go, the tailgates go.
Oh, really?
Front wings, the door shuts. They're quite bad for it, really.
They sound bad.
Yeah, but I mean, a car of this age, I think generally most of them do get onto that.
How many miles has your one done?
It's 133,000 now.
Okay,
but I mean,
it's been around.
Yeah, it's done a few miles. I mean, I've done about 20,000 in it now, I think, around that.
Yeah.
In nearly 2 years, so it gets used. But I just love them. I've got a real soft spot for them.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a car that no one really has or particularly knows what they are as such.
Because you know, I used to have an Ibiza. I had, I would refer to it as a Mark IV, but a lot of owners would refer to it as a Mark III. But that's a different story. But I had a 2006 Ibiza FR, and I thought that was the first generation to have the Cupra badge awarded to it. I didn't realise that the model before this one was available in a Cupra. Because when I saw yours, I was like, oh, it's a Cupra. Yeah. I thought, no offence, when I first looked at it, I thought you just made it look like a Cupra, but I actually did a bit of like research. It's like, oh, this generation actually came as a Cupra. I did not know that.
Yeah, the very first ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they only made them for 3 years, I believe.
Right, okay.
And then they moved on to the Mark IV, or the 6L, I think it's called. It's been really, surprisingly, considering, I mean, it's driven hard. Like, it's not a show pony. I know
left here, mate.
I've painted, obviously I repainted it, but that was mainly just for sort of looking after it as such, because I didn't want it to rust. But
I love those turbo noises. They are almost pornographic. Just pleasurable.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, another
deer. There's always more than one.
Any more deer?
Don't fancy hitting one.
No. Let's face it, this isn't the biggest car.
No.
And it just gives you another reason to accelerate. This thing, it flies.
Yeah.
What do you reckon this will do 60M?
I'll be honest with you, it's saying because sort of, to be honest, we haven't really had the weather since I've done a lot of the work I've done to it has been fairly recent. Things like coilovers, the stripping out, and a few other tuning bits. Beforehand, it was good, but I had a lot of suspension lurch and stuff like that. It was squatting, and I mean, now we're getting some dry weather. We'll give it a go. I'll give it a go at some point. I mean, I hope to get it sort of in the 5 second range.
I was about to say, I reckon it's probably going to be sub 6 seconds.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
because it's powerful and it's light.
I think standard they do it in 7 something.
Yeah, even that's pretty respectable. Given the age of the car, that's not bad at all.
No.
The ride is quite smooth actually, considering.
Yeah. I mean, they're Waytech coilovers, so they're not like nasty budgets. So the ride's okay.
It flows quite nicely.
Yeah. I mean, anti-roll bars are a massive gain on these.
Yeah.
But,
so I thought this was going to be quite a hard ride and a bit of a bone shaker, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it can be. On some roads it ain't ideal, but
obviously, these roads are relatively nice and
not
smooth.
too bad. Yeah.
But I bet the load speed ride is quite firm.
Yeah, through town it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But sort of take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't sort of use it the weekends. In the summer I'll use it more I might use it to and from work occasionally.
Yeah.
But it's sort of been hidden away this winter.
So if I know Leeds are very hard to come by, I actually came across a black one on Auto Trader a few weeks ago. I think it was for about $3,000. I looked at it and thought, that's actually really tempting. Not that I've got the money to buy it, but if someone was looking for one of these, what would be your advice? You know, kind of buyer beware, that kind of.
I mean, the number one thing on these is rust.
Yeah.
Front rear arches, seals. You need to be really careful with. Obviously, they have seal covers, and there's always stuff hiding under the seal covers, which obviously is difficult to see.
Yeah,
if you're going to buy one. But
I had that problem with one of my Mark II MX-5s. It had a factory fitted body kit on it, and it turned out it was mostly, the car was held together mostly by rust, but you couldn't see it because it was hidden by the body kit.
Yeah, I mean mechanically, like, touch wood, this one's been really good. Like, I think the only thing that's, bearing in mind, I've had it 2 years, the only thing that's actually failed on me is alternator and 2 core packs.
Which is nothing really.
Which core packs on these are like, I'll keep a spare one in the glove box.
Do you?
But yeah, that's what they're like on these. Anyone who owns a 1.8 turbo, they know that you always have to keep a spare one in the glove box.
Yeah, I had that happen to my Ibiza.
Yeah. As soon as you put, they obviously more boost, they just don't like it.
Yeah. So apart from the extra boost of power, what are your plans for the car moving forward?
I mean, obviously, I will be doing brakes next. They'll be in the next few months.
Yeah.
I'll be upgrading to, well, it depends what I can get hold of, because ideally I want Ibiza Cupra front brakes, but they're really hard to find.
Yeah.
And they're a lot of money when you do find them.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I'll be looking at possibly making a set of Leon Cupra R Brembos fit instead, because there is a way you can make them fit.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're not. It's not too drastic to make them fit, but it's a bit more of a pain. And yeah, once pretty much after I've done the brakes, that's when I'll be hopefully full steam ahead with more power. Obviously, it's not ideal, but the engine will have to come out. They have to have a bottom end rebuild. These engines are really good. Like the standard pistons will take 500 horsepower.
Really?
Yeah, but the con rods, they will fail at 300 foot-pound of torque.
Right, I see.
And these are quite torquey cars. So as soon as you get up near that power, they'll bend the rod and they'll throw it out of the block.
Yeah, which is bad news.
Yeah, but, I mean, to be fair, I've got some good friends. Like my best friend, he's a mechanic. He does a lot of he helps and does a lot of my mechanical work for me.
Yeah.
And he's kindly offered to do the rebuild for me in his spare time. And it's relatively cheap. You can get a set of rods for around £350, and then it's just a general rebuild kit. Do you know what I mean? Like head gasket, head bolts, like etc. But I mean the turbos, the setup I want to go for isn't going to be particularly cheap. I mean the turbo alone, the company that makes the turbo that I want, they officially don't make them anymore, so you sort of have to try and find one.
Yeah.
Called a K300 by BBT, Beach Buggy Turbos, and I know a few people that run them well over 300 horsepower. Around, I think like 320 horsepower is what you'll see from one maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's the plan for it really. For now, I'm going to get another seat for it once my son's a bit older.
Yeah.
Because obviously at the moment he still needs a booster.
Yeah.
So he can't really have a bucket seat yet.
So have you always been into your Seats, or you're not particularly fussed? You just like just like this make and model.
Yeah, I've always been to sort of quick cars. But to be honest, the first one of these I had was sort of the first fast car I had.
Banging right here, mate.
And yeah, I just sold it, regretted it, and never really moved on.
Yeah.
I had a TT and a 5 Series Beamer and a few other bits and bobs.
What, Mark 1 TT?
Yeah. That was that's what I had that before this, and that was me sort of trying to replace this, but they're just not the same. So yeah, I sold that, bought this nearly 2 years ago. And, ploughed a lot of time into it. Not so much money-wise, but
yeah.
Just luckily, obviously, do a lot of it myself. Yeah, I mean, it goes. I mean, I'm happy with the power. At the moment, I can use all of it all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't. By no means does it feel slow.
No, I mean, there's a lot faster ones out there. But I mean, this is like I mean, it's difficult because the road's a bit moist, a bit damp at the moment.
Yeah.
But when it's dry, you can really push on like through the lanes. It's really what it was built for initially. That's what I wanted, was a B-road car. But now I'm sort of wanting more power, as you always do.
So how many of these do you reckon are left on the road?
I mean, I've done a check not long ago on the DVLA. You can check, can't you, see how many are taxed, basically.
Yeah.
I think this was last year. I'm pretty sure it's like 130 something.
Oh, okay.
So it's
more than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, a lot of them are sat in people's garages in pieces.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people own them as track cars, just pure track cars.
Yeah.
Don't see the road. But I mean, it's not. But they're excellent. Like handling wise, standard, they're not very good.
Yeah.
Like they're quite known for not being very good.
In what sense? Just.
They roll. They just don't hold the road very well. But as soon as you like the anti-roll bars, obviously these don't have them on the rear. That on its own was a massive change in the car.
Really?
Oh, it was massive.
It makes you wonder why Sage didn't do that. Well, probably budget.
Yeah, and they don't nowhere makes anti-roll bars for these anymore.
Yeah.
So at the moment, like everybody wants them. We're going back in or.
They keep going, mate.
A lot of people want these anti-roll bars, and there's a few guys I know that break them. Like they literally buy the modified ones and break them for bits. This is why there's not many left.
Oh.
But yeah, as soon as they get a set of anti-roll bars, they're sold. Like for quite a lot of money as well, really, for what they are.
Yeah. But it feels, pretty tight.
Yeah, I mean
it feels, pretty robust.
It takes a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
It's surprising how well they put up with it.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's been relatively really reliable, really.
Do you find as much turbo lag with it?
Nothing. But that's the joy of having it's only like the intake's probably, I think it's like 2.5 inch. So it's a really small turbo to spin up.
Right, okay, yeah.
But that's why you get to a certain speed and you just sort of run out of puff.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the boost, they boost really hard till about 4,500-5,000 revs, and then the boost will just drop off because they're so small. They just don't have the oomph in the turbo. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, but that's why a lot of these cars are bigger turbo, hybrid, etc. I've just put a set of Nankang NS2s on it, all round. Yeah. Which, to be fair, they're fairly budget. I think they were only like 56 quid each or something.
Really?
They were a lot of money, yeah.
Blimey.
So I had Pilot Sport 3s on it.
Yeah.
When I first had it, which are great, but they're 130 something pound a tyre for the size I wanted. Yeah. And there's a second car. It doesn't the wife doesn't like me spending a lot of money on it. Yeah. So yeah, I sort of compromised, went for these, and they're not as good as the Pilot Sports. They're more Pilot Sports obviously are more of an all-weather tyre. Yeah. They will do everything, whereas these are not great in the wet. Yeah. But in the dry, I don't think there's a lot in it. They're quite good. It's the only advantage of having little wheels. Yeah. They pay a lot of money for tyres.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for taking me out and having your car featured on the channel.
That's alright, thanks for having me.
Obviously, the weather. To be fair, the weather was a lot better than it was earlier because it's
dried up quite a bit.
But the roads aren't completely bone dry, which is a bit annoying. But still, we've had good fun. So yeah, No, thank you very much.
That's all right.
It's good to see this kind of car because, as we said, you don't see them very often. So it's good to see it being used and, more importantly, enjoyed.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely used.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to get your car featured, feel free to get in touch with me, and we can set up a date and a place to meet up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, be sure to like, subscribe, and to ring my bell so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.